Hi, everyone. I'm Savani.
And I'm Sabine.
And this is Behind the Byline, but it is a special edition. This is our Legacy Edition. We're celebrating 100,000 Hidden Compass readers with our Legacy issue, where we've republished 10 of our stories from around the globe, across our departments, and over the years. And one of these stories is by photographer, writer, and the owner of a horse farm out in Maine, Kim Stone. Welcome, Kim. We're excited to be talking to you about your story.
Thank you for having me. This is really an honor. I appreciate it.
Well, it's our honor to be able to have you here today and to publish your story. For those who haven't read it or seen the amazing photos, you should check it out. Kim's story, The Great Basin Buckaroos. It was published as a photo feature in our portrait department in our winter 2019 issue. And in the story, Kim taps into more than a decade of experience cowboying in the Great Basin region to shed light on the rich and shifting buckaroo culture. Kim, can you tell us about what first inspired you to photograph and write this story?
I think it's kind of in two separate pieces. The first part of it was when I arrived there, it was just a culture and a landscape that I'd never really seen before, coming from Maine, growing up on the ocean, and all of a sudden finding myself in the middle of a desert with mountains and no ocean. And my way of journaling has always been photography. So as I began photographing, it was just to be able to capture memories for myself each day and every day in the lifestyle that these cowboys were living in. And they're very private, they're very private. So I wasn't thinking of publishing them in any way or writing an article in any way when I began photographing. They were primarily for me to remember this amazing experience I was having while I was there. And I think to answer the second part is actually when I met Savani and we got talking and she wanted to see the area. And I said, well, I would love to show you around because I'm very passionate about the area and the cowboys. And she said, you have got to write about these people. We want to hear about this. And so, that's where it started.
I had the incredible experience of getting to spend, I think it was 5 to 7 days with you out in the Alvord Desert and in the Great Basin region. And was so glad that this story came out of that experience and that you were the one to tell this story, drawing on your experience. And, we had our reasons for picking this story for our legacy issue, but why do you think a story like this is important to spotlight?
For me, it's a culture that's disappearing. People have their idea of what cowboying is, what it should look like from the movies, but the daily, everyday, it's very different than what people really see. But it's a heritage, it's a culture, it's a tradition, it's a way of life where they're raising families and kids, and something that we see very little of today or even in the last 25 years. I think it's becoming more and more challenging for people to do this as families, for generations at a time, to be able to keep their ranches and have that as their sole living. Very, very challenging. And, it would be, to me, a tragedy not to be able to look back and see where we have come from. Where does our food come from? That's a question that people ask all the time today. Well, it's everyday hard work out there. And I think it's incredibly important that we know that.
It is an important story, and we're so glad that you wrote and photographed it for us. And it has been amazing to go back through the years of Hidden Compass publications and reflect on these stories. This piece was originally published in 2019. How does the piece resonate with you now, and has anything changed?
Well, I think it still resonates with me because I fell in love with the lifestyle. I fell in love with the people. I fell in love with the landscape. I had the privilege of learning their way of life, daily living. They were welcoming and helped me. I'd ridden my whole life, but I had never worked on a ranch. And so just being able to come alongside them and have them show me things and why it's important and how they manage things and how they take care of their land. And I look now when I go out and visit, and I'm seeing kids that I worked with that are now married, that have children, and they are still working there, and they are raising their kids in this culture. And one of them said to me just last year when I was out there, he said, this is the hardest living I will ever do, but I get to work with my kids every day. He said, and that's why I do it. I get to spend time with my family. I don't know what's more important than that.
What an incredible experience that you've been able to have over more than a decade. And I feel very fortunate to have had just a little glimpse of that world through you, both in this story and in the time we spent out there. And a huge thank you to everyone who is watching this video. When Kim first published her story with us, we did not yet have patronage campaigns. So this is your first shot at being able to support the work that she has done for us and the work that we continue to do at Hidden Compass. So do contribute to those campaigns. Check out the story, reread it if you've already read it, and contribute to the patronage campaign. We look forward to seeing how far this story continues to go. It's been amazing over the last few years to see how the story continues to get shared and valued, and we love seeing that. And we're so grateful to you, Kim, for working with us. So thank you, and thank you for spending the time with us this afternoon.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great pleasure. Thank you.
The pleasure is ours. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.